Half-time, Rangers attack down the right wing. Across, and Miller scores with a fine header.
Sweep on again. Centre forward Jimmy Miller gets their first goal. It's all Rangers now. The ball comes in from the right. Miller scores again.
Many years ago at Cyprus, Simon planned a great design, and the mighty Glasgow Rangers had a famous forward line.
Again Rangers attack.
Scott,
Miller,
McMillan, and Wilson, every week would shine, led by the fearless Jimmy Miller.
another goal for Rangers.
Hi Gordon, how you doing?
I'm fine, Si. How's yourself?
All great, mate, and I'm looking forward to the football this tomorrow night and at the weekend. Gordon, as you know, the word legend in football is used probably far too often. We lost a great Rangers player last week and a legend, as well as a gentleman of a person, the late great Jimmy Miller. What's your memories of him as a player?
Well, I remember him as a youngster. I became a big Rangers when it was, I remember the team: Ritchie, Shearer, Caldo, Greg McKinnon, Baxter, Henderson, McMillan, Miller, Brand, and Wilson. That was the team in those days that was famous, and I persuaded my dad to take me to the cup final in 1964 when it was against Dundee, the first cup final I was ever at, and I was 9 years old, but it was such a thrill to be there, and Jimmy Miller scored 2 goals that day. It was a great game, and it was late goals, but I remember Jimmy scoring there, and he scored quite a few goals in that era, and it was a great team. He was a great player, and I got to meet him a few times, after when I was at Rangers, and then since then as well, and he was a lovely guy too.
Yeah, obviously the Rangers have been very, very lucky in the past to have great combinations and great partnerships. and Willie Waddle, Willie Thornton was probably one of the most famous ones. But how highly would you rate the Miller, Brand, Wilson lineup?
Oh, it was really good, and Willie Henderson there as well. That was the forward, the four really attacking players with Ian McMillan and Jim Baxter were the kind of holding. They were the midfield players, creative players. But Jimmy Miller and Ralph Brand were the two central strikers, and they were a great combination together and scored a lot of goals. And Jimmy Miller had more power. Ralph Brand was more of the technical player in terms of just getting playing off Jimmy Miller. But he was a strength in that team, and that's why it was a great combination. And there's no question about it. As a little boy, I really enjoyed watching him playing.
Yeah, one of the things I found fascinating years ago when I was involved with the Trust, when I got to know Jimmy, he was a great character, and I knew he was a Rangers legend, but I didn't realise he was hero worshipped with the Rangers support of that generation. Right to this day, people absolutely adored them.
Oh yeah, I remember, because I say that the whole team were legendary in that respect. They were always remembered, even now from that time. I still can name that team because it was a whole team that played regularly together, and they were fantastic together. As I say, he played a big part in it, and there's no question that he deserves that legendary status that he had, because he did a great role during that time, and Rangers were a successful team. I think they actually won the treble that season, even when when I went to see them winning the cup.
I remember as well when my dad used to rave about him and love him. One of the things that I was surprised at, because he was a smaller man when I knew him when he was in a pensioner, but he was a very, very hard player. That's what people always remembered about him. He would run through a brick wall for Rangers.
Exactly, he was powerful. As I say, that's when he was the kind of the strength up front. He was the one that held the ball up and the one that challenged people, challenged defenders, and take a hit really. Whereas Ralph Brand was more the player that moved about and was sharp and fed off that. So Jimmy was the real target man and the power up front, and that was the great thing about him. Maybe not the tallest as such, but very, very powerful.
And as you said, Gordon, earlier on, you knew him as a person as well. He'll be sadly missed.
Oh, he will be. I mean, we've lost Davy Wilson
So ready to go.
late as well from that team, and it's so sad to see people go. But as I say, at least we remembered he got a great round of applause, and at the last match there, just because as I say, he was a Rangers legend without question.
Thank you very much, Gordon. I know you're a busy man, but thank you very much for that tribute to the late, great Jimmy Miller. Thank you, mate.
Pleasure, Sally. Bye.
Thank you. And folks, welcome along to the Gers TV. My name is Si Leslie.
And I'm Gordy Bond.
And as you've seen, our show tonight is in tribute to the late, great Jimmy Miller of Rangers Football Club.
Hope you enjoyed the video clip there, and hope you enjoyed the interview with Gordon Smith just before we came on air. Absolutely fantastic legend, absolutely fantastic player, and may rest.
The sad part of it is the older generation, they love to tell you almost like a poem, the Miller, Brandon, Wilson team, and with Jimmy Miller passing away and Davy Wilson recently, some of the players are now, it's getting to the stage where you're losing them all, so it's heartbreaking. But that's your tribute to the great Jimmy Miller of Rangers Football Club. Tonight's show is in association with Maxwell. At the heart of it, if you want petrol anywhere in Northern Ireland, these are the people to go to.
Yep, please use them for anything you need. Your lottery tickets, sandwiches, newspapers, petrol, anything you like. Please help our sponsors and our community with Maxwell.
And guys, if you could like and share the page, that would be fantastic. The more people that watch us, the more popular we get, the more abuse we get.
Yeah. And obviously we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We will review, unfortunately, the game on Saturday against Livingston.
Yep.
Obviously it's Halloween coming up, so Rangers are doing their part. They're doing their best to give us an absolute scare of our lives. We've also got
big game tomorrow night.
Very, very, very big, tricky game tomorrow.
Aberdeen
and then
on Saturday.
We finish off the week with another home game against Aberdeen.
However, we wouldn't have it any other way.
No, football's a funny thing. We could beat Napoli 4-0 tomorrow night, and then we're top of the road again. So, but before we get to the Champions League, I think it's probably best if we start talking about the game on Saturday, Si.
Aye, 100%, Gordon. Well, that's all I had to say about that. Lacklustre, and there's a lot of things that we should have done an after-match video, but I had things on, and you were we were kind of down and we were going to do it later on, and you were drunk when I met you. Everybody was angry. Every Rangers supporter I met leaving the stadium said the same thing. They questioned the manager's ability. Have the players down tools and let the manager down? I don't know, but it doesn't look good. It looked like a panic, Gordon, at the end when he brought all the strikers on and all his attacking players out in the last 5 minutes. And the press conference, at the end of the game, the press conference, our manager says, with the last 10 minutes, Rangers started to take control. They were down to 10 men.
Right, so let's try to break it down a little bit, okay. Everyone knew going into the game, they were under a little bit of pressure. It wasn't the be-all, it wasn't, quite, the last chance for MD. Never the last chance to win, but it was a bit of pressure. We're at home. We should have set our stall out to take Livingston right from the first kick of the ball to half time and go in 2 or 3-0 up. Instead, we let them play.
Yeah. All credit to David Martindale. We can be bad losers or whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to call a spade a spade. His tactics and whatever anybody wants to slag his tactics for, we'll probably do tomorrow night. And if we do that and get a result, we'll be calling Gio a genius. He did mention on the after-match interview, David Martindale did say that he had Rangers tactics. He knew what Rangers were going to do. He tightened the middle of the park, so Rangers were playing the wingmen and they were going to win every ball in the box. Fair play to the guy that done that. Did the time waste? Aye. Did they do a few things that made me angry? Aye. But they put the ball in the net in the first 10 minutes, and we couldn't get that goal right up to the last 8 minutes.
We knew what Livingston were going to do. Like, it's not as if teams like Livingston, Ross County, etc. don't come to Ibrox and do that. But I just can't understand why you're under the cosh, you're feeling a bit of pressure, you're at home at Ibrox. Why can you not play with? Why can you not start with 2 strikers? Like, it shouldn't be in football. It shouldn't be a big thing to say to your players, on Saturday we're playing 4-4-2. I know we usually play 4-3-2-1 or whatever, but we're home against Livingston. We need to score. We need to win. We need to put a performance in. After the game against Dundee, we're booed off the park for an abject last 25 minutes, and he plays, a Stephen Davis, great player, and Scott Arfield, great players, but these are players that are coming to the end of their careers. They don't have the same energy as a Sakala or a Scott Wright.
You need to have the legs, correct, Gordon. A couple of things also I noted in the game that I found incredible. Rangers' lack of fitness. To me, the players are just simply not fit enough. If anybody's seen my Ian Ferguson interview, it's on the channel today. We spoke about it. Rangers had allegedly, but it's now been confirmed by players and by the management, that Rangers at the end of last season, after getting to a European final, have changed the training technique, tactics, and they now use ball work as basically all their training's on ball work and very little physical activity. And the players who were winning games in extra time last year on the last kick of the ball, who looked fitter than Eintracht Frankfurt in extra time, these players now look jaded and they look tired and they don't look as if they're the same stamina or pace. Another thing I was going to say on that is, for some reason on Saturday, and I hope I never see it again, Rangers were using 3 men to take a corner. So 3 men, the man take the corner and 2 other players, means that you've got 2 boys in the box that should be in the box or standing there to kick the ball into the box. That's amateur football to me.
And the first, and he was, what was Gio's big tactical surprise on Saturday? He played Scott Arfield at right wing.
Aye.
And seeing the first half, me and my mate Jason, we sit right at the, Govan rear, so we sit right at the kind of edge of the 18-yard box, just before the 18-yard box, okay? And in the first 20 minutes of the game, you seen Tavernier putting balls up the wing. Arfield couldn't chase it. Arfield couldn't, they went out to play 3 or 4 times in a row because Arfield doesn't have the legs.
Now, when you say that, there's also been a video came out, everyone's seen it, the guy Paddy the Baddie has interviewed John Lundstrom. John Lundstrom's told you that he's been injured and playing with injections and he's playing through injury, and other players are doing that.
I believe Tavernier's doing the same as well. That's why you don't have the energy, and I don't know. You've hit the nail on the head. I mean, we've got a whole first team out almost injured. We've probably got half a first team that carrying injuries.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. But instead of bringing in fresh legs, we're playing, 31, 32, 30 rows on the right wing. Yep. We've got Sakala, who okay, he's not the most gifted player, but he tries his bloody heart out.
I think he realised he made a major boo-boo, the manager, when he plays Matondo and then takes him off. I know he got a kick, but he then makes a substitute that he should have made.
Well, in my opinion, that's even worse, because you've got Scott Wright and Sakala who are kicking their heels on the bench, who are actual right wingers. That's the position they play. And you've got Matondo coming on, who's not kicked. Okay, I think he set up a goal against Hearts away. That's his one bit of inspiration this season. He's not kicked the ball for us all season. Sakala played decently against Liverpool. He's one of the only players to actually have the confidence to take anyone on. But yet he can't. He gets thrown on in the last 10 minutes again to try and change things when the whole team's looking downheart.
You could argue Sakala's one of my favourite players. I know a lot of people don't rate him. You could argue that he's not consistent. My argument to that would be he doesn't get a game consistently. He's not one of Gio's favourites. The manager clearly has favourites that he likes to play over others. For example, Kent. We've been speaking about Kent being rested or dropped or whatever you want to call it. You can clearly see that he's not keen on Alfredo Morelos and he's keen on Kolik. You can again see the Lundstrom man, and I think this is going to be his biggest downfall, is he's too pig-headed and he's too proud to change his team.
See when you're reading see when you're watching his post-match interviews and his pre-match interviews and whatnot, he doesn't inspire with your confidence. He basically said it all boiled down to on Saturday. He said, "Well, if I get the sack, I get the sack." He said that, and when he took his coaching qualifications, they were all taught, all the managers that were getting their coaching badges, they were all taught they're going to get the sack in their career. So Gio's big reaction is, well, if I get the sack, I get the sack.
Yeah. The worrying thing for me, Gordon, is, and again, this is everyone I've spoken to saying the very same thing, that's in pubs, buses, outside the stadium, at the match, everybody's saying the same thing. It seems to be the feeling that the fans think it's inevitable. It's not will he get the sack, it's when he'll get it. And if that is a scenario, then we've got a horrible problem here, because we've got a massive game on Wednesday night we'll talk about later, and it's not a healthy situation if that's the case. If it's not the case, what's the plan B?
I mean, when you speak about football coaches, football managers perhaps getting the sack under pressure, you think to yourself, maybe the question is, well, do the players not believe in the manager? I think it's actually, at Rangers, it's the other way about. I don't think the manager believes in most of these players.
Yeah, so then you've got the argument that we're all going to go here, Ross Wilson. There was a list of players under Ross Wilson named the other day there. A few good players, I had seen a few good players, but from a list of about 20 odd, maybe more than that players, some of the guys that he signed, again, I don't know how football works, but I would imagine he would get a wage and he would get a cut off of these deals with agents or whatever. And it's incredible when you look at this guy's record. No Dutchman are signing for the club right away, so that tells me there's no Gio that's picking him. So, first of all, I'm not defending Van Bronckhorst. However, Ross Wilson must be buying these players. So that's a major concern for me. One, that the manager would accept that, and two, the quality of players and their fitness, who they seem to be getting injured as soon as we sign them. This guy should be one of the first people we're questioning why he's still at the club.
Well, because he's on a big fat contract, and but then so it all goes down to how do the board of directors judge the success? Are they more interested in the financial rewards to get into the Champions League? So they just say, well, we don't really care about the league because we're going to make 30-40 million for reaching the Champions League. We don't care about the league because last season we got to Europa League finals, we got enough 30-40 million for that. We've sold Aribo and Bassi for what, 30 million? So right now it's like, you know, I've said it for weeks and weeks. I think you said the same thing.
Yep.
There's something that's not sitting right at Ibrox right now. There's rumours flying about of maybe selling this American businesswoman or consortium or whatever. Ross Wilson and Gio are obviously not clicking with their policies, and the players aren't clicking. There's just at our club, there's just something not quite right.
Yep, and I think that goes from the top right down to the bottom. I'm going to talk about something for a minute, Gordon Knight, and I know this might sound childish, but
that's not what you, Simon.
People listen to me, I think they'll understand where I'm going. It was my brother Mark pointed it out to me, and as soon as he said it, I thought, why did he tell me that? Because it's so true. The football club from the top to the bottom, where it goes wrong. See, when you watch Celtic, we're rivals across the city, we don't like talking about them. Every one of their ball boys is trained. As soon as the ball goes out the park, the team that are playing against us are going to be time wasting. You've got an extra ball and get it straight back in the park. When you watch the Rangers ball, boys or girls, they're standing like dummies, the ball goes past them, it's 5 minutes to get the ball back in. From there to the 10 minutes to bring a sub on, and you're like ready to bring them on, you still don't bring them. The coaching staff are showing them silly notes and things like that. There doesn't seem to be any urgency at all. It all seems to be very, very calm and boring.
Well, on that note, the ball boys and the players weren't talking on Saturday because there was at least 3 or 4 times there was 2 balls in the park for a few seconds, and that killed any momentum we had.
Now again, across the city, they've got that nailed. They've got what they're doing. They've got practice on that. So why are we so far behind in these things?
Well, I'm not going to be. I'm going to be honest. I watched the last 15-20 minutes of the game before we went to Ibrox on Saturday, and as much as we don't like talking about any other club apart from Rangers, when they lose a goal or they're under the cosh, they change the formation straight away. They go 4-2-4. They all they do anything to get the goal. Yep. Whereas we wait until 90. We didn't really start. I think I counted maybe 2 or 3 half chances before 88 minutes, and then we could have won the game in the last kind of couple of seconds. But who was it that scored the goal? We've got 4 strikers on at that point,
and
Lundstrom scored, and we've got 4 strikers on or whatever, and then Lundstrom has the best chance.
The 2 best chances because
I read we put something like 70 crosses into the pot. I read we put somewhere like 70 crosses into the box on Saturday.
Yeah.
And that see for Livingston, that's what they loved.
So if that's not working, at what point of the game do you say, to hell with the coaching that I've been told, change it?
Well, so
let's go to comments.
Right,
Let's know what you think. You might not agree with these guys. That's our thoughts on the match. Personally speaking, the World Cup can't come quick enough for us to get players back from injury.
I've never been so downbeat about what an actual World Cup itself. It's not because we want to see the World Cup. No. It's because we want a break if we go to Ibrox. No, sorry, we want our players to come back from injury. So it's your show, guys. So we'll just read a few of the comments. Okay, so
a few tributes to Jimmy Miller there, obviously the great Ranger.
So winning number 9, brilliant. Okay, Mark Aitken.
We spoke about
the game, absolutely shocking. Yeah. Again, Mark, we spoke about the manager. I don't think there's any point talking about Gio leaving until January because they won't bring somebody in at this point in time.
What I will say on that subject is I think if Napoli you can give them a bit of a leeway with because I believe that they're the most on-form team in world football just now, and if somebody can prove me wrong in that's fine. But
there'll be a Uruguayan team somewhere or something.
There could be, but in Europe anyway, certainly. But when it comes to Aberdeen at the weekend, there's no hiding anymore. There's been boos ringing round Ibrox. People are leaving early. The fans are telling the board that they're not happy.
Yep. David Hale says cracking tribute to Jimmy Miller.
My brother Scott made that up.
Coming for you, David, that's a compliment, so thank you. Evening, Sarah Wallace. Donna Robertson, good to see you as well. Gallant Paddy, Robert Binney, how you doing? We are positive, Robert. We try to put a positive spin on things because
I think he's posted that before we started.
Yeah, but at the same time, we need to be realistic. There's no point. Sarah. Don't be careful what you wish for.
Sarah, I'm lying. I'm sitting here like a hunchback because she's right at the back of my arse here, and I'm hanging there because I can't get to be sitting where I want to be with a posture upright, like a good Presbyterian should be.
Big shout out
because of the dog.
Donna Robertson, big shout out to Marion Porteous, not too well. Really sorry to hear that, Donna. I will send Marion a message after the show.
I hope she's
okay. So
hope she's better soon. And Sarah wasn't very well. I don't know if she was very. I don't think she's been very well. I think she had the COVID, but I don't think she actually had it. I think she was worried about having it.
Fraser, I think to start talking about the fact that there isn't a captain on that park. Well,
we've spoken about that for months.
Lucky enough to interview Ian Ferguson today. Yeah, what a sorely missed personality.
The problem is you've got a captain who has a different approach from what we are traditionally like and want, and we're not changing them. It's as simple as that. And I would say the captain in the park most games for me is actually Alan McGregor. Yeah,
he's the only one. I mean, you can see Alan McGregor, who I watch him because that's where me and my mate sit, and we sit obviously the first half or the second half only, but we sit we see what he's doing and see his body language and his anger and frustration. It's the only person you see actually that seems to care right now.
Yeah, a good point that was made during Ian Ferguson interview that you can get on the channel was that in the 9 in a row era, it wasn't a captain. Like, you had Richard Gough, who's probably the best captain in our lifetime, certainly mine.
Yeah, it's in my lifetime as well, yeah.
But he noted the fact that it was a team of captains.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one guy, they were all captains. Yeah. That's no happening with Rangers, and I'll tell you. Now, this is negative comment, you can read it out, but don't blame us, we're only the readers.
Alan McMillan, I reckon it's another humiliating.
Presenters.
I reckon it's another humiliating drubbing tomorrow night. I don't think that getting beat by Napoli tomorrow isn't any shame. I think the big game is Aberdeen. Like we've still got a chance of winning the league.
To me, Gordon, with this one, right, it's quite simple. He doesn't really look very far what to do, right? The man that was criticised for this, Walter Smith, when we played in European football many years ago now. Walter Smith played against Inter Milan and he played against Barcelona and teams like whatever. He played against his top European teams. Alec McLeish was Barcelona, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The point
No, Walter Smith played
that was
Barcelona.
Walter Smith, it was,
Yeah.
aye.
We're doing nil at home, mind.
That's
Sure.
the point I'm going to make. You need to sometimes decide what the game is you're playing, right? So see when we played against Livingston, we should go out and try and hammer them. This game coming up, Rangers should be saying, we'll do a Walter Smith, quoting that because he's the first man who's really do it. Shut the shop up. Stop it from being a hammering. It might be boring, but listen.
Yeah,
you have to get
it might be a hammering, right? But I remember the Walter Smith. Yeah, a couple. I think we played Juventus twice in a week. We beat 4-1 home and away, right? But see the next week, see the next week at Ibrox when we were playing the league, we won 4 or 5-0.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we got to be realistic. Rangers are realistically not going to win the Champions League, right? We get to Europa League final, you know, every so often. That's brilliant. Okay, we all love that. Okay, but realistically, we're not going to compete with Real Madrid's, Man City's, Chelsea's.
The English Premiership to be able to get to that level.
But we want to hold our head up high. And sometimes, you know, if you've got the passion, you've got the tactics and the instructions, you might be able to sneak through. You might be able to get through in second place, whatever. If you do the right thing, and then you get a lucky draw, and then before you're in the quarterfinals, and then you think to yourself, well, that's amazing. But
the point is, you never ever should be getting into a game looking beaten before the game starts.
Gio basically came out and said the players aren't good enough.
Yeah.
If you're a player for Rangers now, if you look at the Rangers first team, we've got a good. I don't care what anyone says. We've got a good team. We've got players that aren't playing to their full capability right now. But we've got a good team of full internationals.
So a question I ask you, Gordon: do you think that's him having a dig or basically covering his arse and saying the players your players are not good enough in other Ross Wilson's? Because would you say that about your own players?
I think he's trying to do that, but it's came across. He's got these words mixed up. He's got to come in the wrong way. What you say is you say, listen, it's fantastic we beat PSV. What a result it was. It's a great team. We're not experienced at this level. However, we'll win at these games. We'll be full of confidence. We'll play with passion, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah. Again, guys, let us know your opinions of things.
Yep.
It's not just their show; it's your show.
Yep. So we'll get rattled through some comments.
There's loads of comments. We'll read them.
Livingston's ain't everyone's team to come up against, which know how I'll be dropping points at home. So somebody, there's no name, but 3 shots on target in 90 minutes should be 3. Yeah, 3 shots on target the whole game against at Livingston at home is a shocking statistic, and you know it's absolutely
they weren't
ridiculous.
even good shots on target. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
it's not as if we were hitting the post and the crossbar and the world class saves for the keeper.
It's just shots.
It was like, you know, deflection. David Herd, feel like a broken record. Midfield, there's no urgency. Our white players are contributing next to nothing. We are boring to watch and lack both speed and imagination. Yep, but we've got 2 on the bench on Saturday. We've got, you know, 2. Now, I'm not saying for 1 second that Scott Wright and Sakala are world beaters. Okay, I don't even think they're going to have a long-term future at Rangers, to be perfectly honest. However, that said, you know, you don't put in somebody like Scott Arfield, who is getting to the later stages of his career. He's played a few games in a row. He's clearly tired, and you play him in right wing.
Yep. The problem with that is I don't actually think the manager knew what he's doing at this point.
Yeah.
He's just flinging players on that. That's the worrying thing. Nobody seems to think there's a kind of game plan.
Only For Hope Nations is asking, are you doing a video on Wednesday? If we can make it out from behind the sofa, we might.
Aye, I'm having a couple of beers on Wednesday because it could be, depending on how Gio sets his team out, and it could be a bit of a horror show. I would personally begin out and closing the. I would just shut it. I would do exactly what David Martindale done to Rangers, basically.
Yeah.
Gio might be too proud to do that, but it's a hell of a lot better than getting pumped.
Correct. So, Si, somebody told you last week Alfie was the same, forced to play with injury and told the London Public Columbia not to play. I tell you now, the players want Gio out.
I believe there's no name comes up on that because it's on from one of the different sources on my group page. But the problem with that is I think you're right. I think the players probably do want him out. But that doesn't depend. We've seen this player power last week. Whether people like Steven Gerrard or dislike him, my opinion is he's an ex-Rangers manager. He put us back on the map in Europe. He made us proud. We never lost any more than 2 goals, and the players played for him. Now,
that's all right. Go on.
You can whether you like him again. His players let him down at Aston Villa, and they went on and won 4-0 at the weekend. So that tells you when the players down tools that they can get a manager out. That doesn't make me feel better as a Rangers player, Rangers supporter, watching the players down tools. They get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, and they should have their own professional pride. Now, I don't believe that for one second that somebody like Alan McGregor down tools, but I believe that somebody like Tillman and Matondo probably might, because and maybe Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent is, I don't care. I'll probably get penalties for saying this, right? And I don't care, because I think Ryan Kent is a really good player. I really do. When he's on form and he's fit and he's given the freedom to express himself as a football player, I think he's a good player. And I think he can change a game in a heartbeat. However, it's my opinion. All it is, he's getting told, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, and don't do that.
Now, there's a great point here. Alan McMillan, you want to read this out?
Yep, so pass it, well, actually, you're absolutely right. Pass it back all the time needs to be addressed. It's dangerous even against the so-called lesser teams. Send it for weeks, all take a shot and go down again, wouldn't have a pop. Great point, Alan, because on Saturday, it's funny how you start to notice things when things aren't going too well.
Yeah.
A lot of the passes on Saturday were sideways and back the ways, and it's Livingston at home. Put the ball forward.
It's the easy option at all times.
They're scared.
But there's actually 2 points in that. Why not have a pop at goal, right? Because these guys don't want to shoot. They want to walk the ball in. There's nobody out there that wants. I don't see anybody out there that wants to take responsibility. This is basically a case of if I've not got the ball, then it's not my fault.
Yep.
It might sound silly, but there's nobody out. I mean, as I was saying, speaking to guys like Ian Ferguson today, he's talking about all he had to do was win the ball and get it to any Rangers player in that midfield, and they're all ready and they're all busting for that jersey. We've got guys that are hiding.
And you've also got, the manager that plays the defensive midfielders. Alan Morton's for New Zealand, pleased to meet you. We are the people saying Livingston beat Red 2-0. Yeah, what an absolutely fantastic result. Ian Sinclair, I had to read that twice actually, I read it out to you, right? But he says, Ian Sinclair says, you're right on the ball, boys, side. Ian, you don't be know it, mate.
That's an allegation.
Don't be know it, mate. I don't know. David Herd, when you play one strike and he goes for the wingers, all seen Kent is 1, Sakala 1, right now Matondo now 0. Compare that to the other lot. Yep. Yeah, absolutely correct.
I mean, another point, exactly what David Herd's talking about, but another point, say Kolak's had a great season, so Kolak has a bad game and Rangers don't score goals. That's exactly what he's saying. If you're playing with that one striker, you're depending on him, and if he does a bad game, then who are you depending on? The guys that are not scoring every other week?
Yep. So evening guys, a couple of tributes there to Jimmy Miller. Sorry, a couple of what does to tribute to Jimmy Miller. Thanks very much. Please go back and watch them later on again and share them with your friends, etc. Who I think only four's asking is who are we supporting in the World Cup?
I don't actually know who's in it, to be honest. I'm not sure.
We've got England and Wales from the whole nation.
I'm not watching international football, so I'll not be supporting anybody.
Well, I shouldn't really say this on air, but I've got kind of German kind of relatives, so sometimes I like the Germans to do well as well. Margaret,
a lot of German viewers.
Just not any wars, that's all. As long as it's not a war, we're all right. So Morelos isn't in team. Corlett goals are drying up. Is it ruined? Jenny gets in Blackpool. Yeah, I've seen that. There's a striker up on flame for Blackpool right now who's scoring a few goals. I think he's only got 8 goals this season, but he is scoring the goals. So yeah, they're rumoured to be in for him.
Well, just quickly, Gordon, you're on it right, and I'm not saying he's Rangers class. However, I forgot the big boy's name now. The big boy that plays for that scored the goal on Saturday.
Shankland.
I
can't.
He's tore us apart every time he plays against us. So right away, and Lawrence Shankland, a massive Rangers fan, there's a market there for strikers. This is it's Ross Wilson that is buying certain players. I would be interested to find out, is it the same agent he's using or same agents?
It's good. If any out there can tell us, it's a good shout.
And I don't know the answer.
Okay, we never know with that. Okay, so that's something that we can look into.
Sarah said the passion isn't there at Ibrox. Tell us, Sarah, what do you know about passion?
You're just trying to get me for that ball boys comment, Ian.
No, I agree with you 100%. There's no heart. These guys don't seem. They certainly don't care the way that we do.
Yeah, it does. But then in modern day football, it's probably it's not going to be the same as it was. You're never going to get a team like 9-0 team again, really, realistically. All we can hope for is that we get a team for 2 or 3, maybe 4 seasons at the most now in this day and age, where they do play with their heart on their sleeves. I'll get penalties for this as well. I think Tamrier's a good player. I don't think he should be the captain. However, I think he's a good player and he's scored some vital goals.
Well, would you agree that Gerrard made him a better player and Gio's making a worse player?
Yes, it's the same with Kent, same with Morelos, and it's definitely the same with Kamara.
Rob, but just to answer your question, mate, so what it is, we've got a Gers TV page and a Gers TV group. Now, because we started feeding it, we've got 10,000 in the Gers TV group, I decided to start putting the feed on that as well, just to get the numbers up. And if that comes up your page and you hit the link that's a Gers TV group page, your name doesn't come up. And if it's the Gers TV group, then your name won't come up. It comes up as Facebook user on here. And if it's a Gers TV page you link into, it comes up as your name.
Yep, so...
Agree with Gordon about Kent. What were you saying about Kent?
I can't remember.
He's a good player.
No, I was saying that all I was saying, and you agree that's brilliant, is that he's not playing well right now. We can all see that, but I think when he's on form, when he's fit, when he's given the freedom to express himself on the pitch, he's a good player, and he is capable of playing much better.
And that's back to what I was saying a minute ago. Is Gio no letting him do that? Are they getting told? Remember the thing about the tricks? Has he been told this is how you're playing?
Yes.
And if you don't like it, you're not a team.
Yep. So, guys,
that's
us.
Rumour, I don't know.
Senior players. I heard that I get sent this in a couple of WhatsApp groups last week about the players, some of the senior players going to speak to the board, but I don't.
Oh,
We don't know.
It must be
Rab.
right.
There you go, Rab. Okay, so we've spoke a bit about obviously the Livingston game. We've given our thoughts. We will look forward to the Napoli. Well, I say when I say the phrase "look forward," it's a Champions League game, so you've got to. However,
I'm going to try and get hold of just getting said he's wondering what I'm doing. Mark Dingwall, who's in, he was in the stadium.
Have we got a dinner?
I'll do that. I'll put it up in it.
Guys, while we're all watching, we've also got. We're going to try and get in touch with somebody that's over in Napoli right now. Okay, at the stadium. Okay, so we're going to try and if our technical stuff is working. In the meantime, we've got 2 weeks on Friday. We've got our Gers TV dinner, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So you'll see the advert up on the screen now. Hopefully, well done. So it's part 2 of 150th anniversary year of our great club. For a ticket price of just £75, what you get is on entry, you're up the marble staircase into the suites before the dinner starts. The trophy room is going to be open for pictures and tours, etc. as well. There's going to be an absolutely amazing 4-course meal as well. So it's not a 3-course, but it's a 4-course meal. And we've got some fantastic speakers lined up, and we're also looking to try and get 1 or 2 special extra things as well for you. Okay, so if you're interested in that, if you've got a supporters club out there, you might want to buy a table or something, then I'm sure they would do a wee deal with you as well. Or if you're just looking to come along, then drop us a message on here after the show on our Facebook page, or email thegerstv@gmail.com, and we'll sort you out with a ticket. Tickets are selling fast, however, we do realise that it's only payday coming up this weekend, so if you want to come along to that, please do. Show your support for the Gers TV, have a fantastic dinner, go up the marble staircase, get a picture in the trophy room, and it'll be an absolutely fantastic night.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I'm just doing a wee technical bit here. Gordon, as well as that, see if anybody, a lot of people maybe don't fancy the big meals and things like that. See if you just like a wee drink a night, you're getting 7 hours in Iglops, because it's only 1 o'clock in the morning. You're getting to the trophy room, you're getting a banner, you're getting the music on. Yeah,
even if you don't want to come to dinner, guys, you still get the tour of fire bricks, you're still getting the pictures in the background outside, and the trophy room's open as well. So it's going to be a night of memories, and on top of that as well, we've got some fantastic, absolutely amazing speakers. David Herd, he'll give us his knowledge of Rangers is absolutely fantastic. We've also got all the other speakers as well. So
yeah, we've also got Ronnie Wilson doing a bit of comedy.
Ronnie Wilson, we've got Ronnie Wilson making a guest appearance as well.
Historical presentations from Rangers and the Warriors. We've got a piper if you like to get piped up the stairs, treated like VIP, going up the marble staircase to the trophy room. You're getting a gift. You're getting DJs.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic night. So if you want to come to dinner, please let us know. Drop us a message on the chat. We'll get back to you after the show, or email thegerstv@gmail.com.
Right, we're going to open up the calls if anyone would like to give us a little call.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. The Gers TV, hit it.
And that's slowly started to snow.
Yeah, so there you go, just in time. So we've talked about the Livingston game. Let's say I say this phrase with inverted commas. So let's look forward to the Napoli game.
Yeah.
How do you see it going, Si?
As I said earlier on, I think that Napoli, in my opinion, if they're not the most
lots of football scores.
Right, yeah. If Napoli are not the most consistent team just now in world football, they must be one of them. They went at the weekend. Have you got the results even going?
Yeah,
Have you got it?
so
They went to Roma, Rome against Roma at the weekend, and I think the stats said that Roma didn't get a shot at goal. So you know what I'm building up to here, but I'll let you tell me the stat. Have you got the results?
So Napoli's results. So here are Napoli they've played 11 games this season in the league in Serie A. That is, they've won 9 and drawn 2. They've scored 27 and conceded 9, and they've beaten Ajax 6-1. They beat Liverpool 4-1, 4-0. I was just getting it up. 4-1. They've beaten AC Milan away. They've beaten Roma, as we just said, away. They've beaten Lazio away. They've beaten Rangers away. They're in absolutely tremendous form. They're scoring goals for fun, and they are probably right now one of the favourites for the Champions League.
Strangely enough, the only thing that I can take any comfort from out of all the stats and everything else is it's probably our best game that we played in the Champions League was against them.
It sounds crazy to say, but the best result, the best, obviously with the Ajax getting, they beat Ajax 6-1, they beat Liverpool 4-1. So for 60 minutes we gave them a right good game, and I think we spoke about this till we're blowing pardon the pun, blowing the face, but if Manila scores that goal in the first minute.
Yeah. It's a funny old game, and it didn't happen. When it went to 10 men, Rangers had lost a man. I don't think there's any team in European football, or Italian league or anything like that, that would have coped with Napoli with the pressure they put on, and there's an undoubted ability. Napoli are without doubt the favourites to win the game. It's probably the hardest game of football Rangers are going to play since the last game we played.
Since Liverpool.
No, all kidding aside, it's probably going to be one of our hardest ever European ties, I think. We need to get the battle fever on right away. We need to have a game plan. We need to also have a mentality that if the ball's short or anything, we need to block it. We don't want players jumping out the way of the ball. Nobody can hide. And if the very best I could see Rangers getting out of this would be a draw, but I think that's probably unrealistic as well, the way Rangers are playing just now. I hate to say that, it's just how I feel.
You've got to be realistic in these start. I'm not being negative, we're just being realistic. In football, anything can happen. All it takes is, a penalty, a red card, or the keeper making a rash decision, etc, etc. However, it is a very, very tall order. But, comparatively speaking, when a team like Ross County or Livingston Company Ibrox is, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is the same as a team like Rangers going to a team like Napoli. It's not light for light, but it's comparatively speaking where, our budget probably 10 times that of Livingston, Napoli's budget probably 9 or 10 times of ours. So
the only problem I got, and I agree with you 100%, but I think football also gets won with the mind. Players don't have the right mindset.
Oh, if you went with a mindset, we were beaten before we kicked off in the Champions League because Gio said that his players weren't good enough.
I think David Martindale gave his players the belief that they could get a result at Ibrox, and does Giovanni Van Bronckhorst have the ability to do that with our players? That's what we're asking the question. I think it's a massive ask for Rangers to get a result in this. It's probably even when the draw was made, it's probably the one place we thought we were going to get a result. But you've got to get into that game with a bit of belief. You've got to, or there's no point in taking a wage, and there's fans travelling over for this game. Yeah. It's a dangerous place to go to. There's fans travelling over, they're making the effort, even if they don't get a ticket, they're still there. Give them something to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you've got to do for 90 minutes. You play your heart out, you follow you try and you follow the manager's instructions, and you play for the jersey. I mean, look, I don't want to go back to the Livingston game, but every cross, every shot, every attempted shot, they put their bodies in the line. They threw everything at the ball to block it because they were pumped up and ready for the game. Whereas you look at Rangers and we've got our backs facing the other way half the time, and we don't look as. So for me, it's just no passion.
So going back, here's Carol.
There's Carol.
Carol now.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Hi, pal.
Thanks.
Good.
Oh, good, mate. Oh, good, bar the football.
Don't make football there anywhere else, come on.
Oh, I know.
My biggest problem, I think, is the coaching staff at Rangers.
Okay.
I mean, they bring in this, what's his name? Him who used to be forward for me.
Roy Mackay.
Have you seen the shooting that we did?
I think he's been drinking weight, Mickey.
You should be on that. That's the ball Pope. The other one is, Schulitz has a couple of serious misses. Come on, don't kid yourself with 2 headers out in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
He can only header with the one side of his head. It's a threat in the bit he's got. But he's a good player, but he's no service.
Yeah,
There's nothing. And for Gio Johnny Van Bronckhorst, that guy's a bore. They wonder they can't start the game fast, but they're rubbing the sleep out their eyes after the team talk.
Aye. Well, it's hard to argue that, Carol, with the lacklustre starts and his press conferences.
But I find it incredible that I agree with you everything you're saying, Carol and Gordon, right? But I find it incredible when you look at his career. The teams he played
he's
for.
played for Barca and Arsenal and Rangers.
Hold on. Look, who he's played for. That's nothing to do with being a manager.
No, I know, but I would like to think he'd have a bit of passion on the park.
And he's been managed by great managers, so he must have got some inspiration for Arsene Wenger and Dick Advocaat, and surely he's picked up some tricks in the trade.
Here's another point, right? He bores me, he bores Gordon, and he bores you. What's he doing to the players?
Bores him, I expect.
So how do you get a message across?
How do you get rid of it? You have to bring in a Scottish boy to go into the dressing room, even just in the coaching staff, someone like Stephen Thompson, or even as you says, God, he was a great player.
Kevin Thompson, Neil
Who
McCann.
we're talking about, but he stays in Australia, didn't he?
Ian Ferguson, aye.
But Ian Ferguson, aye. You need someone like that on the bench, because I don't see anything happening on the bench.
No.
With the coaches. Like it's rubbish. And what else I was going to say? I keep hearing about he's never signed a Dutchman, and then he says about Fat Boy in the East End. He signed players in you, but he was playing in Japan. The last place Giovanni was China, so I would have got a couple of Chinese running about.
I just think that Ross Wilson's got. I'm jumping on a bandwagon with this because I didn't think it at first, but when I look at Ross Wilson's track record, I think he's got a lot to answer for. If he's the man buying the
He don't want
players.
to go down the same as Pedro Cachina did. He brought in all his players.
I don't think for all Gio's faults. I don't think he's quite as bad as Pedro Cachina.
No, I know what he's meaning. It's the recruiting is certainly the recruitment and the fitness.
Well, Cachina brought in. If you want, Cachina brought in Morelos, did he not?
No, it was an advocate.
No, it wasn't.
No, there's no advocate. So I meant to say Warburton. I mean,
I'm sure it was Cachina.
Could have been.
It was Cachina.
But I know it's great points, Carol. But the thing is, it's all obvious point. It's no.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cheek at you, but it's not like rocket science.
Aye.
The coaching seems to be ball coaching only. They don't look fit as they were last season. The fitness is what carried us through. They don't look have any passion, and they don't look to want to shoot. There's no responsibility. There's no captains. That's things that can be addressed.
I've been doing that for a couple of years, no shooting.
Aye, that's true. But it just seems to be a lot of things you can address. But why?
But somebody like John Lundstrom's got a good shot on him. He scored a couple of cracking goals.
Aye.
You seen what Kamara's goal for the edge of the box in the semi-final against Leipzig?
That was a once in a lifetime one, though, wasn't it?
Well, Kamara hardly plays though.
Kamara.
Yeah.
He doesn't deal with near this Lundstrom. This is a whole problem.
Yep.
But for the moment, we're not hiding to nothing, so we may as well go out with a bang. Make a game of it, you know.
I mean, that's the problem. If we do make a game of it, it could be a sixer. But
I know, but what's the already hurt them?
Aye, true. Okay.
You know,
I know what you're saying.
The record the goal scores against us, that must count for something in the Champions League.
Well, it's good to have. It's good to have ambition in it. It's good to go. It's good to get a record.
Right, Gordon, I got into trouble last week because of you.
Aye, what's he doing now?
Because I didn't say hello to my missus to you.
Oh well,
and when you put on your long johns, I give you to sing a song.
I'm not sure what that means, but carry on. Hello to Mrs. Carol. Hope you're well.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm travelling up after the Ajax game. Right after it.
Okay.
Win, lose or draw. I'm coming up to Glasgow and I'll leave you a message in the Bristol.
Okay, mate.
Well, come here and see you. I was having a bit of Tommy Balls at the weekend.
I'll be up. I'll be up on Wednesday morning, knackered, and maybe still half caught with driving. You have to drive without a drink. Then I'll be in Thursday in the Bristol sometime, maybe Friday before I get home.
Aye,
Saturday, I might go home on Saturday, I don't know.
Okay.
Do we play Aberdeen on Saturday?
Aye.
Or Sunday?
Aye.
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday at home, aye.
Well, I've got to leave on Friday. I don't want to miss a game, you know.
Aye.
Good man.
No, good call again, mate, and all the
I'll
best.
get through to every place for swearing,
Aye.
watching Rangers and now. I've nearly saved up £3 and 44 IOUs with my swear box. Right, good night, lads.
Good
night,
Swear
Carol.
to all the people.
Good night.
Always.
Will be no surrender.
Take care.
Well done.
Aye,
Okay.
good call.
Good. Once again, Carol.
He's adding a bit of,
regular
bit of humour
contributor.
as well.
Aye. Okay, we're going to wrap up the show with 5-10 minutes or so. Okay, so you want to give us a quick call, please do. We'll catch up on some comments. Okay,
So-
Rab.
Rab's asking a question that we're asking. We don't have any inside knowledge of Rangers. We don't have any. Years ago, we used to hear stories, but and some of the players I knew some of the kind of guys that involved with Rangers. I don't know. I don't claim to know anything, Rab. But your question is, are we saying this is still not Gio's team? It's Wilson's team. I would say now, after the last few months and the comments from Gio, I would say yes, it's Wilson's team, and that means that they're both responsible, because if the manager accepted that in the first place, that
Well,
tells me he's weak.
Well, if you asked me a month ago or 2 months ago, I would have said no. Of course, how can it be? But the more you look at it, the more you think about it, then he doesn't believe in these players. He doesn't. He rarely plays these players. But then, if I was appointed manager at Rangers, you know, it's my lifelong club. You know, I've played for them. I've managed them. I'm going to be manager of them. I want to make it my team, so I'm going to the board and say, no, I'll only join as your manager if I get to decide who comes to the club or not. Yes, Ross Wilson can play his part, he can lead in negotiations and he can renew contracts or whatever, that's fine. He can still deal with agents, but here's the players I want.
The manager should be the manager.
Yeah.
Rabbi, do you disagree with that? I think he's agreeing with it, but I don't know. But I just find it incredible.
Andy Croy's asking about rumours about Fox takeover. So if anyone doesn't know what that is, there's a business woman, I believe,
Yep.
in America, son named Fox, who could, is it Christine her first name is?
Is it no? It's a guy. Is it no Kyle?
Kyle Fox, that's right.
Yeah.
Kyle Fox, sorry, yep. So there's an American businesswoman, Kyle Fox, who apparently has some kind of consortium or big business connections, and there's rumours that they're interested in a takeover of Rangers. And this, again, this all goes back to part of the reason why there's been no real money spent in the last kind of few months is because the current chairman's more concerned about balancing the books up for a potential takeover.
So I know a wee bit about this. I'll explain what I can explain to these guys on it. So first of all, it's not a rumour. There's definitely interest from Kyle Fox's people, and they do want to get involved with Rangers. And I don't know if it's through Dave King or who it's through or what their source is. However, and I'll not name the source because I don't want to get people into bother or anything like that. I'll not tell us anything again. However, a well-known Glasgow businessman had done a bit of due diligence on Kyle Fox, and I believe that it's another Craig White even, but it's another Charles Green scenario where she's not really got any money, but she's trying to do what these people do is
okay, I see what you mean,
they bring
yeah.
other people's money in,
Aye.
and it's not going to benefit Rangers.
A figurehead.
A figurehead for other people. Now we've been doing that road. We know what happened. The club get relegated and sent down to all these, or demoted, what you would call it. But with some of the hardest times in our life as a Rangers supporter, watching utter dross as well. But the fans followed on. But the fans were told with one thing with the new board, that will never happen again. And I believe this would be a major mistake for Rangers.
Okay. There's a comment here saying, let's be real, the only real reason we got Gio was because he was available and free. I believe he was managing in China.
It sounds
at
like
the
me
time.
up with Savoy.
But here's the thing, a lot of people say Gio's a great manager, etc., okay, which they're entitled to their opinion, but he left Feyenoord and went to China to manage. Now, what great manager leaves Holland and goes to manage in China? A young manager. Why would you not go into the Premiership or
He's also-
the Championship or the Dutch League, or back in the Dutch League?
You've highlighted this a lot of times, Gordon, and we're not want to be. People saying don't be negative, but the questions are coming in and they're negative. But Gordon, you have correctly identified that his away record for all clubs and his derby records as well
Yeah,
are awful.
Are awful because he shows I don't know if he believes in himself or he doesn't believe in his players. But anyway, let's finish off. We are going to finish in a couple of minutes, okay?
Our questions came in. Can we see your interview with Ian Ferguson? Yes, I'm going to play it at the end of the show, so it'll stay on.
Yep.
And you'll be able to watch it by just continuing to watch.
Yep. So if you stay tuned to the Gers TV, you can watch.
If you would like to call us,
fantastic video with Ian Ferguson.
Call us on 01413195230.
Try and take one call before we finish. If not, we'll just let's just finish off then. Before if we go to get a call, we'll take the call.
What do they need to do to make a call?
In
case you don't know the rules.
Let us know the last few numbers in the box there, okay?
You might read that one?
Yep, so Rab thinks he come in on the deal when he can't get the best out of the players brought in. He's in a position where he has to change style and players starting choices no option. Well, you know, if Gio wants to stay and win the fans over, then he's got until now. I believe he's got now until the World Cup, starting for the break, and he's got to win every single league game. I think that the natural break of the World Cup would be the perfect time to get a new manager in if that's the way it's going to go.
Because a lot of people might not know this, there's 5 week break.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of time to get a new manager in. I agree with what Rob's saying, and I agree with his point, and I agree with what he's saying. The outcome of that is right. However, the only problem with this is, if somebody gave him that remit and told him he's no picking players, what member of the board done that? Because that's up there with the trip to Australia in terms of being a sacking offence.
Yep. So I think that if we win, if we forget the Champions League break, okay, we can take that as a hit, you know, this season. I think. However, if we win every league game between now and the World Cup starting, which by the way is perfectly doable, then we will have more points than this time last season. We do have more points than this point last season, okay? That's a fact. That's an undeniable fact. But I think if we are more than 6 points behind Celtic by the start of the World Cup, then I don't see him having a future at the club.
Yeah. So again, that's all our opinions, guys. If anybody else has got an opinion they want to phone in and share with us, just a wee recap now. Is there anything else we'll stop we talking about? That's everything so far. We've covered everything.
That's it. So again, thanks very much for your comments. A lot of new people commenting the way, which is great.
If you like and share, people can watch it later as well, because some people are watching Champions League or whatever.
Yep. So our dinner's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. We've got some great plans, and what we'll do is we'll play the Ian Ferguson video again as well, which is an absolutely fantastic interview. So thanks very much for your company this evening.
Yep. We're not going to finish with an outro. We're just going to play the Ian Ferguson interview because it's been very popular today, and a lot of people that don't know how to find it, they'll now be able to watch it on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anything at all. So it'll give you a wee opportunity. I just want to thank everybody once again.
Yeah, let's wish Rangers luck tomorrow. Win, lose or draw, we're always Rangers supporters, and we always are
the people.
The people.
Have a good night, folks.
So is your office across for the Bristol, did you say?
Right beside it, aye.
Right beside it. Is that where it used to be a big garage?
Aye.
Is that what you use?
Yeah. I'm trying to get an SL centre. It's just moving in progression all the time. Gers, not illegal, extend.
No.
I'm going to mention that, we'll mention that in a minute as well. See the amount of people that don't stay in Scotland watch Gers TV, right? Everything that extends Celtic.
Aye.
So we're live in there, just waiting to go up to it. And then I'll start asking some questions.
God, you get them out quick?
Aye, aye. That's because you don't know me if I'm on this myself.
Oh, do they know I'm on it?
Aye, I don't know, aye.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I'll come up to 100. 30 seconds. Would you like me to get the studio for the...
No, I'm glad they never done it.
Aye, you do it quite right.
We don't do friendlies with them. Never. I'm glad they changed. I'm glad they changed it. No, we got news here pretty quickly.
Right, folks, I'm just about to start a quick interview with Rangers legend and most decorated Rangers player. When I say decorated, I don't mean he's got the boiler uniforms on and that. He's got all the medals. Won more medals than any other Rangers player in our history. The one and only Ian Ferguson, live on the Gers TV. What I will do is I'll invite you to ask questions within reason, and if I can ask him, we'll we'll let him give his opinion on all things Rangers Football Club. So give us a wee like and share. The more people that like and watch, the better it is for everyone. I need to watch what I'm saying because it's during the day and I also see that there's nobody swearing. So trying to get a card system where we don't have to we can get the poor people swearing, right? So and then they can take us off. You're looking good. So that's it. So we're going already. You're looking good for you. Fantastic player, Ian Ferguson, Rangers legend. So just start off, Ian. You're just back in Scotland. You're from Scotland originally. You're East End of Glasgow. And you've moved abroad for the last 20 years to Australia.
Yeah.
And it's Perth you're living in just now?
Yeah, I've moved, as you said, 20 years ago. We've lived in actually New South Wales, we've actually lived in Queensland, and we've been back to Perth twice. So all through the football, which take me to these different places in Australia. So we've seen quite a bit of it, really enjoyed it, and yeah, life goes on.
And in terms of, you say life goes on, but life for Rangers still continues. You're still great friends with the Rangers support over there.
Oh, absolutely. Look, even back here, you know, meeting up with old friends, Andy Smiley, Wee Monty, John Gilligan, and yourselves, you know, I'll bring you back to the Bristol bar. And as you mentioned, the fans over there, you know, in Perth, which is great, you know. So yeah, we still keep in touch. Get very close links to the Rangers supporting clubs over there.
So if John McGinty's watching this and he's skiving?
Well, he is skiving because at the moment he's doing my house up. He's painting my house while we're away, which is good, so I don't need to listen to him.
And in terms of the Rangers clubs over there, there's quite a few Rangers clubs in Australia.
Yeah, look, there's the Rockingham Rangers Supporters Club as well, and then you've got the Perth Rangers Supporters Club from Leaderville. So yeah, and then you've also got the one in Adelaide, you've got ones over in Queensland. So yeah, there's a big following of Rangers over in Australia. So,
well, before we start the quick interview with you, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Again, you've supported us over the years. Just to give you a wee plug for other stuff, you're obviously going to travel in the country, meeting different Rangers clubs. Is there any particular places you're going to?
Look, I've been so far. I'm living out in Livingston with my sister, which is great. We were up in Kirkcaldy the other night there. I'm going to Motherwell, I think, pretty soon as well. So I'm probably all over. To be fair, I'm going back down to Girvan to stay with my brother-in-law as well, who we've not seen. I've got the Beancroft on this Saturday, which is great, which is a tribute night. Looking forward to that, meeting some old players and obviously the fans as well. You know, I've had a fantastic reception from the fans. You know, I was at Ibrox on Sunday, bar 72, and we had a fantastic night there, and I think everybody enjoyed it. So yeah, it was good.
And one of the older Rangers fans just mentioned you there, and you'll know very well. A good friend of mine's Robbie Ferguson. So
Robbie, yeah.
You're looking well.
Thanks, Robbie.
So just quickly, so just for people that don't know your career, you grew up in the East End of Glasgow. What like was that as a boy trying to get that move to Rangers?
Yeah, look, it was never something that entered my head. You know, when I got the opportunity to play football, I started with Clyde. I started with Aberdeen as an S form and then got released from there. And then I started with Clyde under Craig Brown, and then I got an opportunity from there. Then it just snowballed. You know, I was getting a regular game at Clyde, and then I was doing reasonably well. And then St Mirren came in and bought me, and it was Alex Miller at that time that took me to St Mirren. And then he eventually left and went to Hibs, I think, about 2 months later, which broke my heart because I really liked working under him. And then, as I said, Alex Smith came in and Jimmy Bowen, and they sort of replaced, Alex Miller. And then again, it went from strength to strength. I was getting played every week. I was enjoying it, scoring goals, playing well. And then obviously some teams took notice, and one in particular, you know, where I really wanted to go was Rangers. And yeah, I got that opportunity to obviously talk to Rangers further down the line. It took a bit of time. It took about 3 months, all up from when I first heard about it to actually ending. But in that period, I was getting sent to Manchester, talked to Tottenham, and to be honest with you, my heart wasn't in it. I really wanted to sign for Rangers, and that was when I asked St Mirren to put a stop to all the fun and games, you know, and let it happen, and they eventually did. Yeah, but it took 3 months instead of maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So signing for a football club is always going to be daunting at the professional level. Being a Rangers supporter and going up the marble stairs and meeting guys like Graham Souness as a guy going signing knows a rival player. Walter Smith, some of the legends there. What did it feel like?
Oh, it was an amazing feeling. You've mentioned them there. Even you mentioned two of the managers there, and not only that, the quality of player that I was getting into. You know, like Terry Butcher, Ali McCoist, Woods, Durant, Ray Wilkins. You know, the list is endless. David Cooper. You know, to go into Ibrox and be sitting beside these guys, changing, and then sitting in a bus going to training, you know, was I'm actually going goosebumps now thinking about it. It was an amazing feeling, having that opportunity, especially a boy from the East End of Glasgow, you know, getting that opportunity to go through the swinging doors and then the marble staircase and so on. As you said, there's a fantastic feeling that every day it felt special, and I was there for 11 years.
There's never a bad time to sign for Rangers, but when you joined Rangers, it would, in my opinion, and for me growing up, was a golden era of the last 40 years. Rangers were outstanding at the time, but there was a ban on the English players, so Rangers were getting the European players.
Yep.
So Rangers were getting the cream of English football as well.
Yep.
You signed at the right time as well in terms of success.
Yeah, I think so as well, you know, and then there was a ruling that came in where it was 2 foreigners to rule, and I think the rest had to be British, which was great for us as well, and that was probably one of our most successful times, 92-93, where we had the 2 foreigner rule, and you know, that was a team that would never say die. Look, we again at that time, you know, we're on a crest of a wave where I think we went on 44 games unbeaten. We were unbeaten in Europe, and I think it was 44 games we'd won in a row, which was a tremendous achievement.
Obviously the game's changed a wee bit just now. People are constantly getting messages here. It's the same question: get a guy like Fergie back in the team. We had a wee chat about it earlier on. Obviously, if you were fit enough, you'd love to play still. Time catches up with us all. The game's changed a lot with the introduction of VAR and the style of football. It would be hard for the style that you play to adapt, but I believe all good players can adapt and will adapt.
Look, you can adapt, but at the end of the day, a big part of my game is about my physicality, my energy. You know, that was massive for me, and look, there's people saying to me, look, you wouldn't be able to play in this day and age, but look, who knows? At the end of the day, it's different eras, different times, and yes, you're right, I can't play because I'm 55 now, so yeah, it was...
Well, you could reverse the question: if the players that are currently, the way they play, how would they feature playing against the guys of your days? They would struggle?
Yeah, they would struggle, definitely, you know, again, I think they're trying to get total football, and I think if you take physicality out of football, then, you know, we're not going anywhere, because I find that at the moment, the balance is not right. We're boys at the moment, you know, we've not got a lot of physicality within the team. You know, when I go back to our day, and you know, John Brown, you know, I could right off the top of your hat, Terry Hullop, you know, right off the top of your hat, Stuart McCall, you know, Richard Goff, you know, we had a lot of physicality right through the heart and the spine of the team. But then you also had the flair and the balance of your Gascoignes and your Loudrups and your McCoys that could, you know, win games in a heartbeat. So there was a good balance there, and I just feel as though that balance is just not there at the moment.
I can't remember who. I remember interviewing a Rangers legend a few years ago, and I asked him who the hardest Rangers player in the team was that you played in, and his answer surprised me. He actually answered Alan McCoist.
Oh, Coisty's a top boy, mate. Don't be kidded with Coisty's wee cheeky grin and his wee smile. You know, he's a tough character, and I've actually taken a couple of punches off him myself in training. So, you know, he handles himself very well, let's put it that way.
I mean, it's been said for years that Paul Gascoigne is a crazy guy, but what was you thinking about what that square goal that day? Cup final?
Look, Coisty's, Coisty will fight his corner all day, you know, and if he feels as though something's not right, he'll let you know, and I'm sure Gascoigne was the same. So look, at the end of the day, it was handbags at 10 paces with the two of them. The two of them were kissing and cuddling after the game, and went on and won the game. Yeah, you've seen how Gascoigne reacted with those goals in the second half. But yeah, it was handbags at 10 paces. Good to see. You know why? Because they care.
Of course, it's a passion there. They care. And I believe that the biggest one out of them all that day was Walter Smith, because when they realised Walter was there, that he would have been the toughest one out of the three of them.
Walter, again, it comes across very, very nice, but again, Walter could let rip when he needed to let rip and let you know in uncertain terms what he was wanting, what he was expecting. You know, but he always came across very nice, Walter, on the radio and on the TV and in the dressing room at times, but he could be a tough man as well when he wanted to be.
So just a quick question, I've asked you this before, but if I remember, I can't remember your answer, because it was me, you and Chuggy Bulls, and we were having a couple of beers that day, and I can't remember your answer. It was Paul Gascoigne came to Ibrox with Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I think I might be wrong, I think it was Mo Johnson's debut.
Yes, it was.
And you were the man of the match that day.
Yeah.
I believe you were the man of the match that day, and Gaza wasn't too happy at the time because you played so well against him. How did that feel in terms of he was probably the best player in English football or British football at the time?
Look, it was good for me in regards to playing against a top quality team, and first and foremost, and then obviously playing against Gascoigne, who I had a couple of run-ins before playing for Scotland under-20s. You know, Gascoigne's a genius, and he's always been a genius, you know, through his whole career. I just get better on him that day. You know, I was in his face, he didn't like it. As I said, that's a big part of my game. Now, I've not got Gascoigne's ability, but Gascoigne never had what I was doing, and I never had what he was doing. So it sort of nullified each other, and I was just getting the ball, playing it, keeping it quick, and then as soon as he had it, I was getting in his face, and he didn't like it. Give good players time and space, they'll hurt you. But for more importantly for me was to be accepted by the Rangers fans, because that was probably my first pre-season since I joined the club, and it was up to me to try and make a big impact in regards to obviously cement the place in the team. And that game went a long way to help me, you know, obviously get on board.
You talk about the fans accepting, obviously it's one of the hardest places to play football, as Glasgow, playing for Rangers. And one of your most infamous moments was the legendary time when you were basically won a square goal with Pablo Di Canio. I think the support was 100% behind you after that.
Look, it was something that happened. He got involved in something he shouldn't have got involved in, and before you know it, again, I go back to about having ability, and you know, I can't match that. You know, I can't match a Laudrup, I can't match a Di Canio, I can't match a Gascoigne and Ian Durant. You know, these guys were way ahead of a hell of a lot of people. But what they couldn't match was our physicality at times, and getting in, I keep saying it, getting in people's faces. Don't give good players time because they'll hurt you. And Di Canio was no different. You know, when you take Di Canio out the Celtic team, it's like taking a Laudrup out, or the Gascoigne out the Rangers team. So you distract him, you get him wound up, and your job's done. And exactly, and the rest is history. You know, we won 1-0, and I know it wasn't officially the 9 in a row game that won it, but for me it went a hell of a long way to win that.
And just you're talking about that 9 in a row team, obviously one of the greatest players in that team passed away not long ago, Andy Gorham.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad. In terms, I genuinely think that Andy Gorham at the time was probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not top 2, maybe him and Can.
Without doubt, Gorham for me is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen or ever worked with. He was just amazing. He just, you know, you look at these goalkeepers now that are down south, they're all 6'5" and built like brick shit houses. You know, they're big lads. Andy wasn't even like that. You know, he was probably about 5'11" or something like that. But he had a stature, he had a presence in there, and he was one of the best shot stoppers and one of the best goalies, as I said. He was up there for me at that time with Schmeichel. I thought him and Schmeichel were the best 2 goalkeepers in the world at that time.
Yeah. And that Rangers team, one of the things about that team, the 9 in a row era, was they never say die, but they were also very, very fit. In terms of fitness, first of all, was Souness, and then we went on to Walter Smith. But what was the level of fitness? What was it? Was it training mostly football or mostly endurance?
A bit of both, to be honest. You need both. You know, there's no. If you're just going to concentrate on just ball work all the time, you're going to die in certain games at certain times. So again, what I liked about the Gaffer and Souness was the fact that they done both. You know, worked very hard on the ball, and there was a lot of games, a lot of 5-a-side games. But after it, you got runs, and you ran as hard as you could, and you put in as much as you can. Because again, it builds you up for the season, it builds you up for the training, it builds you up for the games. And the harder, and I keep going back to myself, it's something that was massive in my game, was my strength and my fitness. Because I could run box to box, I could get up and down the park. And that's something that I was, it was installed in me to be that box to box, to be that player that Rangers were looking for. And then eventually I got the holding role, which made it a wee bit easier for me. I wasn't doing as much running, but I still worked very hard at training, just in case I needed to go back into these areas. Yeah, always prepared, always.
Something that makes me laugh when I hear stories about different players, and this one's about yourself. I'm not even sure if it's true. Arthur Newman tells the story that you were very superstitious when you played football.
Yeah.
You would count magpies and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I hated seeing one magpie, and I think one used to sit right in my car every morning. I used to get up. But yeah, no, that's a superstition. I was very sure, and I don't know where I got it from, and I don't know how it all happened. But yeah, I seen magpies, and I used to have my strip hanging out my right hand side as well.
Right, aye. What was that?
It was just something that happened where I pulled my top out one day and I scored a a goal for St Mirren, and then I just kept it that way, and ever since I played with my strip out my right hand side all the time. There was other things, you know, again, how what to eat before games when we're in the...
So it was really it was a big thing for you?
It was always, yeah, and it was crazy, you know what, it wouldn't have changed any difference in regards to the results of games. It was just something in my head.
So you're mentally tuned?
Yeah.
I mean, and when I speak about Balfour, he talks about, was it the 5-1 game that you beat?
Yeah.
You were in and gave the players a shuriken.
Yeah, well, what happened was I think I get put on late on in the game, and I think we were down about 4-1 or something, 4-0. And I wasn't best pleased going on at that point where, you know, we're going down. But look, at the end of the day, I get put on, and yeah, and I wasn't happy. It ended up, I think it was 5-1. And then went into the dressing room, and, you know, we wasn't too happy. I'm sitting with my hands in my head, and I can hear people laughing. And I turned around, and it was Arthur and Gio. And one word led to another, and I wasn't happy with the fact that, you know, it was unacceptable that we'd just been beat with Celtic, and, you know, they're laughing in the corner. So yeah, that was it was something probably, you know, that I think Arthur actually says it was something that he learnt, that how important it was these games were to the Rangers fans and to the club. Rather than, you know, I remember Arthur's words: do you want to win 4 times at Parkhead, or do you want to win the league? And I said both. We've been doing it for years, mate. So I want to win every game, and I want to win the league.
Did you enjoy the games, or did you obviously enjoy them afterwards? But I feel very briefly you're so stressed out with the build up to it,
yeah.
And you're a Rangers supporter, you know what the overall game means. How did you actually enjoy them, or was it?
Yeah, I enjoyed them. Look, the ones you win, obviously you enjoy. As you said, but the ones you lose, you know, you go and hide away for a week and do your training and get back home and stay in until the next game's ready, because that's the only way you can move on when you obviously lose against it. But when you win, you're happy. You know the Rangers fans are happy. You know the club's happy. And yeah, it was an upbeat feeling every time, you know, we beat Celtic.
There was a famous quote from Richard Goff, the man at Barpine, Rangers' greatest captain that I've saw playing. He made the comment that the team that drinks together wins together.
Yeah.
But at the time, you were teetotal. You didn't drink at all. Is that true? That 100%, or was it just you didn't drink a lot?
Well, I think I said it before, Si. The only time I did drink is when we won a trophy, and that's how people thought I was an alcoholic.
But that kind of bonding for the team that helped, because you were all friends.
Yeah, we were all friends, you know, and again, it was a close-knit dressing room, which was good. We had a lot of good players, you know, right through the years that had been there for a long time, and then there was the new ones that came in, and every player made them feel welcome, which was good. So, yeah, look, there was definitely a little brotherhood there with a lot of them, and still keep in touch with a lot of them today, you know, and whenever we meet up, it's the usual, you know, the old banter, straight into it, as if you've never been away.
Because you have the exposed games and matches like that, and you catch up as a team.
Well, unfortunately, we've been over in Australia, and I can't get over as much as I'd like to try and participate in some of these games, but, you know, my legs have gone now, and my ankles are busted up, so it's a case of just watching from afar and obviously keep in touch with the boys.
And in terms of the physical side of the game, that was your strongest point, although I think to be fair, you were a great player as well. Sometimes the great players, I was great friends with Terry Hollock, and nobody ever mentions the fact that he could string a pass together.
Yeah.
But in terms of the level, the Rangers were a tough team.
Yeah.
Who would you say was like the toughest guys that you played alongside? And against?
I'd say, and look, you get again all different qualities. You know, John Brown was a tough boy in his own right in regards to physicality, where he would go and put his head in with it hurted, he'd go through challenges with it hurted. Terry Hullock's another one that, you know, kind of rolls off the tongue, you know, again, but could play. You know, you mentioned there, you know, I talk about a balance being in that team. You know, it'd be either myself or Hullock, or myself or McCall, or vice versa. You'd have that balance, then you'd have like a Gennant in there, or else you'd have a Gascoigne in there. So there were tough boys, and a Ray Wilkins, you know, so there was always competition, but there was always a balance, I felt. You know, you couldn't have 11 Paul Gascoignes, you couldn't have 11 Brian Laudrups. You know, everybody's got different jobs to do and different attributes that they brought to the team, and their strengths and their qualities, and I think that's what made Rangers special at that time, because we had so much quality. Yeah.
So you were obviously at an era with Rangers where it was all success and it was great times. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about the current Rangers side and how things are, just as a fan. I'm not going to ask you to throw anybody under the bus or criticise anybody, but a few people are asking me, like, sir, mentally, how Tavernier as a captain of Rangers, how does he get the Rangers players to believe in themselves again?
Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to get in players' ears. You know, I remember Richard Gough getting into us. I think we'd lost something. The European Cup, I think it was, and then we get put out the Skull Cup, and then I think we get beaten the league on 1 week, I think it was, where you know, the heads were down a wee bit. And as a captain and you know, and the manager, you know, going round the players, you know, just we had to believe in ourselves. We had to get that belief back, because there's only one way you can do it, and that's you can either throw your dummy tit away and out the pram and go in a huff and sulk, or you know what. We need to get back on the horse again. We need to start getting things right here. We need to start winning games again. Because the Rangers such a heavy strip, mate. I've said this before, and I say it every time when I get asked a question about, you know, the demands and the expectation, you know, for the fans and what's expected for the club. You know, and if you can't take criticism, or you're not strong enough mentally or physically, you'll be eaten away. So you need to be strong mentally to play for Rangers, because you could be doing great for 89 minutes and then you're crap for the next 2 minutes and you'll get smashed. That's the way it is, and unfortunately, you know what, you just got to deal with it. You just got to go on with it.
You probably have more knowledge of this than myself, then you probably saw some players who were rated, who were great players, but when they came to Rangers, for example, Theo Snelder struggled with the Rangers atmosphere. Did you experience some guys that just couldn't?
Yeah, there was players that couldn't handle the fact that obviously going out in front of 50,000, and then there was players that probably didn't adapt to the Scottish game. There was players that probably went into a shell because maybe getting a bit of stick. So there's all different types of things that could affect players. So yeah, it's not an easy place to play, but as I said before, when you get the opportunity, you know, I'm an East End boy through and through, and a massive Rangers fan before I even got the game. And my first thing was, which I couldn't believe, is from standing on the terraces to going on the park, was that you walk out that tunnel and it's a total different view of the 50,000 and you hear everything. So, but it's brilliant. I've said it before, you know what, took stick to myself, everybody else, you've just got to go on with it. Because what I say to people is, you probably want to be where I am, and I lived the dream, and to get that opportunity I wasn't giving it up easy.
I'm not a big fan of the new football, the VAR and things like that, and one of the reasons for that is they've killed the characters in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys were all, even the rival players, you said a laugh and a position with the fight and all that. People love that side of the game. The referees, when you can't have any, there's no laughter with the referees, there's no jokes, no bad.
Yeah, they're taking the fun away for the game. I think they're taking it away where we had characters, and I go back to these guys, the McCoys, the Gascoignes, the usual suspects, you know, in our team at that time. You know, we're always up to mischief or pranking on the park or doing something or having a bit of banter with the referee. Now it's just, there's no, you know, you can't even have a word with the referee now unless he's can pull his card out and try to boot you or telling you shoving you away. You know, it's crazy. The VAR for me now, I thought it was going to be something where it would just dispute maybe an offside, or it would dispute goal line technology. But for me now it's gone too far. When somebody scores a goal, they're going about 5 minutes back to look, see if there's any fouls committed and so on. It's just a farce, an absolute farce. I don't like it, I hate it, and I think it's wrong for the game.
Yeah, and also to say that every football fan hates to sit and listen to other and have a debate about it. It's killing that.
Yeah, it's killing everything, to be honest with you. It's killing the joy for players as well. You see somebody scoring a goal and then all of a sudden, you know, they're away celebrating, and the next minute the VAR's got something in the referee's ear. The referee's stopping the game for another 2 or 3 minutes, and everybody's sitting in tenterhooks waiting for the goal. Look, we've got a linesman, we've got 2 linesmen, we've got a 4th official standing at the side as well. You've got a referee and you've got somebody in the stands. Surely that's enough. Surely that's enough. Yes, look, there's always been mistakes made, and everybody just got on with it. But this is now just killing a game where I just think for somebody's foot, just a wee half a boot ahead of somebody, or somebody, you know, I just think it's crazy. Or this free kick happened here, you know, somebody's been brought down, you know, 45 seconds ago. Just let it go, let it play, let the game flow. I don't think that's happening anymore.
Question that just came up a few times here. You scored a great goal in the Scottish Cup for St Mirren. One of the goals you remember for, obviously, before your time with Rangers. Every young Rangers fan when they've grown up wants to score that great goal for Rangers. What was your best goal?
Oh, mate, I was quite fortunate. I had a few thunderbolts from outside the box, and and actually against Aberdeen was probably one of my good goals. Oh, I had a few dodgy haircuts, still have. But yeah, one of the ones there was one in the League Cup when I think it went into extra time, and it was at Ibrox, and it was with my left foot, and it was just laid back to me, and I ran onto it with the left foot and just pinged it right into the corner. I really enjoyed that one. That was against Aberdeen. But the one I really liked was the League Cup final. I think it's Gary Stevens takes a throw in, and I think it's Big Goffey that nudges somebody out the way, and the ball just sits nicely to me, and then I sort of just do the scissor kick and went into the corner for us. That was a special moment as well, especially, you know, I keep mentioning being a Rangers fan and scoring in a cup final. That was amazing.
And in terms of games, what was your best game that you said you were involved in?
Best game? Oh God! Again, I've been pretty fortunate. I've played in a few games that I've really enjoyed, and you know, none more so than probably the 5-1 game. I get man of the match that game against Celtic. But there was other games as well, you know, that you look back on, tough fought games where you get the win and so on. So yeah, but yeah, the 5-1 game, I know people might think I'm being a wee bit parochial or whatever, but you know, against the Old Emi, I always remember that where Graham come on with 20 minutes to go, and you know, we were 5-1 up and they started taking the mick. Well, we were wanting to kick Graham into Rosette. We wanted to keep going where we could get more goals and try and, you know, get that 6-1, get that 7-1, get that 8-1 with 20 minutes to go, because we had Celtic rattled. Yeah, we could have if Graham didn't come on and start running all over the ball and his wee back heels and his wee flicks. But look, if somebody said to me before the game, you're going to win 5-1, you would have taken it in a heartbeat.
In terms of Souness, at the time when they've been a really hard man to deal with as a person, he always struck me as a warrior on the park and off the park.
Yeah, look, I found him very fair. I loved him. I thought it was great. He's the one that brought me, him and Walter, brought me to Ibrox and gave me the opportunity. You know, when he left, it was sad, because I always knew Liverpool was going to be his first love. You know, if Liverpool came in for him, he was always going to go there. But yeah, I found that if you had a ding dong with him privately, you were fine. But if you done anything in front of anybody, you were a loser. You were gone.
There've been a few nights and I've done a few interviews with Durante. It's tells me that him and McCoy swinged and Souness up.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good idea to get him in the right side of him.
I think we Durante did get the wrong side of him once in training when it was England v Scotland, and I think Coisey tells the story. The wee man was taking the mick out. We're all taking the mick. We're all jumping out, hopping about in one leg and trying to kick the ball, and you know, putting our hands over our eyes and kicking the ball. And Souness took offence to that. He didn't like it. All the English boys. We used to play the 5-a-sides, and they got a bit naughty on a Friday. And this one particular day, this one did get a bit naughty, where Graham just absolutely smashed wee Durante, and then the wee man fell up. Yeah, and I think Coisty calls it the weeble wobble effect. He just bounced and hit the ground and bounced back up and said, "Is that your best?" And before you know it, we're all into it. We're all rolling about on a Friday afternoon, Friday morning.
That was going to ask you. Mark Kelly once told me that Souness for training actually enjoyed the players having a fight.
Oh, he loved it. He loved it. He loved that type of character. He loved that type of person in his training, because for him, he showed that cared. He showed that they were winners. They wanted to, and regardless it's your teammate or you know you're up against your teammates in a 5-a-side game. The intensity and the ferocity of these games were amazing, absolutely amazing.
And in terms of the Rangers team just now, one of the games I remember when we talking about the games in this game, it's great Rangers team work. They came out and played some fantastic teams, notably Juventus absolutely hammered us.
Yeah.
You've got to come back for the games mentally.
Yeah.
The Rangers have obviously struggled in the Champions League. In my opinion, they've got the two best teams in it. Liverpool and, two of the best teams in it. Liverpool and Napoli. And I believe Napoli's going to win it. How do you bounce back as a player when you get a problem like that?
Look, it's what you asked earlier on. You've got to. You've not got any choice. You're either going to a shell and the criticism that comes your way, you've got to take it, and quite rightly so. They deserved it. You know, the Liverpool game, second half in particular, was just collapsed. You know, and I'm sure the players know themselves that there's no hiding place, no easy place out. So you've got to go in that park and show them that you still get the ball to go out there and play and win in front of the crowds. And that's, to me, that's how I would have reacted, or that's how I took it. For every defeat, people are not happy, people want to criticise you. You got on it. It's not a bed of roses all the time. You've got to take the good and the bad. And sometimes you get more bad than what you do good at times, and then sometimes you get more good and you get less bad. So it's just how you react and how strong you are mentally to get through the next step.
So So in terms of the current Rangers team, one of the biggest talking points is that Alfredo Morelos can't get in the first 11 on a regular basis because of Kolak, who's playing outstanding. All the great players all seem to have a crazy side to them. All the talented players, and you feel I've seen loads of them in the time. It appears to me that there's a fallout between the manager, Gio, and Morelos.
Yeah.
Is that something you think that would last long, or can they bring that back again?
Oh, it's got to look for Morelos to be getting left out. I'm sure he's not happy about it. It's that exact thing that we just spoke about. Morelos has got to show Gio that he's wrong. He's got to tell him that he's wrong, and not tell him to his face, but he's got to go out and deliver on the park. When he gets an opportunity to come on as a sub, or he gets an opportunity to start him, he's got to score. He's got to make things happen. He's got to play well. So you can sit there on the bench with your face tripping you like a big baby, or you say, well, I'm going to show him. That's what players have got to do. Oh, McCoist is... Listen, McCoist would come in and smile, right? He would come in, he would smile, would sit in the dressing room, smile, he'd have a bit of banter with the joke, with the players. But see, after training, see when he was away somewhere, he was fucking livid. He was cooking. Because he knew that he should be playing in that park. But he did he throw the dummy tit out? No, did he? Heck, he showed everybody that, you know what, my time will come and I'll get an opportunity again. And he did. I think he done it against Aberdeen where he scored 2 wonder goals. I think Graham dropped him on the bench, and then I think he got dropped as well when I remember him one day coming out with a teapot at Love Street, sitting on the bench. You know, he didn't like that, but he showed everybody that he was okay and he was getting on with things.
Showed the character.
Yeah, showed the character because he was putting a face on, but we knew deep down and we knew behind the scenes that he wasn't happy. He wasn't shouting from the rooftops, he wasn't going out there and demanding games. He worked hard at training, he got his opportunity in the games, came good. The rest is history.
You see the Morelos side, he can do the same thing.
It's got to, there's no other way. It's either that or go.
Yeah, he's got to try to turn it around soon.
Well, it's either that or you go. You know, like you're going to sit on the bench and, you know, throw your dummy tit, as I keep saying to you. You know, there's 2 ways you can go. That's what you can do, or you can say, I want to show the manager, I want to show him he's wrong.
One of the things that was spoken about before in an interview, I know Graham Souness has spoken about this a lot, is player power nowadays is so strong that it's hard to be a manager of older style like Souness, Walter Smith, Alex Ferguson, and Gio's having a tough time just now, but he's obviously suffered from that. And we know that Gerrard suffered from it because the Aston Villa team, after losing Gerrard 1-1, 4-0 and have an outstanding game, player power can affect you.
Absolutely.
Has that affected Rangers just now, do you think?
I hope not. Look, I hope not. I don't know if it's confidence, or I wouldn't like to use the words down tools or they're not trying, because if they're not, then shame on them. If that's the case and that's their mentality and that's how they're thinking, I hope it's not. I hope that's just a wee bit of lack of form at the moment, or, you know, hopefully they're going to be ready for the next game, and, you know, they've got to go forward. It's as simple as that.
How do you think Rangers will get on in the next couple of months? Obviously they're going to get 5-week World Cup. You think Rangers will, in the next couple of weeks, you think they'll be strong enough to overcome? Napoli's going to be a really hard game tomorrow night. I think they're going to win the tournament.
Yeah. They're all going to be hard side. You know, every game that Rangers play, you look at that group's got 3 potential winners. And that, you know, if they're in any other groups, they've got 3 potential winners in there that could actually win that cup. That group is always going to be a tough group for Rangers. You know, I think it's just proven that we're probably, and what we're seeing, we've probably just not got the quality what we had. But it's an eye-opener for us all, and it's something that we all need, well, the club needs to work towards and try and get quality players in. To be competing at that level, you need quality.
You never fancy being a manager yourself?
I'm doing a wee bit of management at the moment. I was a manager over in the A-League about 10 years ago, and ever since I've been doing State League and NPL, so I'm actually still doing that at the moment. My wee team won last year, we won the first division, then we came 3rd there in the NPL. We were probably second last game. If we'd won that, we would have won the league, and we lost. Well, we drew, and the team that we drew with was above us, so that gave them the league basically. So I'm still getting my foot in the door somewhere along the line.
Does being a manager change your opinion on how you're a player?
Yes, it does, because you're now in charge of 30-40 people, rather than the player just being himself. The player thinks about himself, the player gets on, you know, and it's all about him. But I've got now 40 people to keep happy. And you mentioned that earlier on. I remember when I was a player, I had to keep the manager happy. And now I feel as though the manager needs to keep the players happy, which I think's wrong. I think dangerous road. And so you talk about dressing rooms, you know, going against the manager. That would never have happened in our day. Never. 100 years, because if that happened, you would get kicked out the door. But now players, for whatever reasons, are getting paid stupid money. They think they can walk about and do what they want, say what they want, and act how they want. And that's what I find disappointing with the modern player today.
I mean, I think just quickly, I know what I hold you back for.
I know.
I've asked you this before, but I've asked you again, people remember those there, but I still believe in traditions. Like, young players should still be cleaning the boots and learning respect for the first team. If you're giving a young player, it's a professional club, something like 5-10 grand a week, they're not going to understand
the values. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, and it done us no wrong. Getting into a boot room and cleaning your boots, or getting boots cleaned for certain pros when you were a younger kid. I think it was great. Great upbringing. If you've done something wrong, the door locked, you get a couple of smacks over the head with the boots as well. If the pros weren't happy. So yeah, look, it's changed totally now. They get everything done for them. You know, it's putting a platter for them. To me, I think we're missing a few ingredients. I love the fact, and again, I'll go back to it, as a young boy, there's one thing that I feel is massive at the moment in football for younger kids. There's no reserve team. It's now under 21s or under 23s where kids are playing against their own ages and so on. When we were younger and getting brought up, I loved the fact that I played beside a centre-half, Paul Flexney, a John McVeigh, a Stevie Evans, who were all first-team players. But when they were coming back for injuries and you were playing beside him in a reserve league, you learnt so much from him. And I don't feel as though kids are getting that now. You know, they might get the odd training session coming over with the first team and so on, then back again. But I love the fact that you had 4 or 5 first-team players run about that vicinity playing for the reserves, and you were learning so much from them.
I'll go to my question this one.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of international football. I probably won't even watch a World Cup, but it can be good for a player to have their own fans giving you grief from for reasons otherwise in football. How did it feel when you made, was it one game you played with Scotland?
Yeah, the one I get cheered. Yeah, I played at for Scotland over in what do you call it? I think it was in Monaco. Basically, I think it was Estonia, and doing 0-0. But I was on the bench, and then when the game had finished, I was getting these guys throwing stuff at me and shouting abuse at me, and I think I got about 15 minutes or something. And I was playing wide and the right, again my normal position, and I felt it was unjustified. And basically I told them to F off, and apparently there was a microphone there, and basically the whole of Scotland heard that going through the living rooms. And then apparently it was like, you'd think I'd committed murder the time I got home, where it was blasphemy and everybody else was giving you pelters. But they didn't see my side of it. It's a bit like players now saying things and getting videoed, and then all of a sudden they're getting 10-match bans. You know, you get provoked, you get stuff thrown at you, but everybody keeps telling you, exactly, but everybody keeps telling you, but you should be bigger than that, you should be this or that. You can only take so much when you're getting cans bounced off you and abuse bounced off you.
In the first place.
It shouldn't have been done. But anyway, cut a long story short, yeah, that's what happened, and I was asked to apologise, and I said I'll apologise to whom I've offended in their house. I said, but I'm not apologising to the fans that were actually throwing all the shit at me. So that's what happened, and then again I never get picked for Scotland again.
I mean, for years you hear the media tell you the Tap Rabbies are great supporters of one and everything else. I would argue the Rangers supporters, there's not some travelling support like Rangers anywhere, but it's a totally different experience for you, because the Rangers supporters loved you. Just your last game when you played in your career was at Dunfermline, and you played for Dunfermline, and I distinctly remember after the game you done a lap of honour, and the Dunfermline fans cheering you, and you took a top off the Rangers t-shirt on it. What was the dressing room after that? Did the players laugh at that?
No, the players were brilliant. Look, the players were brilliant. It was my very last game ever in Scotland, and I knew against Rangers, and how uncanny was that? You know, your last game against Rangers was amazing. So I had thanks for the memories and the 9 in a row t-shirt on, and then I had something in the back, perfect for the top 6.
Because you qualified that.
Yeah, we got into the top 6, which was great as well. So it was a great achievement. But my way was saying a big thank you, and yeah, basically that was more or less what I was trying to do. Some Dunfermline fans didn't like it because I had the Rangers crest or the 9 in a row thing on. But when I took it off and I turned it around to show them, then they started applauding. But it was just a way of saying thank you. It was just a way of saying thank you to the Rangers fans and the best fans in the world, and then obviously going to the Dunfermline fans and saying thank you for the support that you've given us as well. So that was my final game, and it was a great game. I really enjoyed it.
It was a great way to draw the curtains as well. Just lastly, there's people watching all over the world, different parts of the country as well, and they're all asking how you're doing and everything else. Just if you could send a wee message out as a Rangers supporter and an ex-Rangers player to the people watching.
Yeah, look, thanks guys for all obviously tuning in. Just keep sticking by the team, just make sure that you're there giving the support, because that's what the boys need at the moment. They need the support. They're having a tough time in Europe. Hopefully we'll get over that, and then hopefully we get back to winning the league again.
And lastly, you did say you're 55, so you won't be winning a game tomorrow night.
What's that? Sorry?
You're 55 years old now, you wouldn't fancy playing tomorrow night against Napoli?
Well, I wouldn't say no. If they told me to get the boots on, I'd have a go, that's for sure.
Maybe that's what we're doing, a wee bit of that dig. But Ian, thank you very much. I appreciate it once again. Ian Ferguson, Rangers Football Club, the most decorated Rangers player in our history, and 9 in a row legend. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.